Welcome to my channel. This is a storytelling series, Tales of Hurting Gods. Don't forget to subscribe, and if you have any feedback or suggestions, feel free to leave a comment below. Now, let's get started. Episode 3, Supernatural Powers. The apothecary voiced his own thoughts. Keep feeding him spirit blood, let him drink it like his life depends on it. Every time he drinks, his body strengthens a little more. If he drinks enough, even if he can't awaken a spirit body, his physique will surely surpass any spirit body. One punch to kill a dragon. The village chief chuckled, that'll be enough to scare those bastards outside the great ruins to death. The two exchanged a laugh. The apothecary stepped out of the room and gently closed the door. The next day, the villagers brought over several ironbone tigers, azure serpent dragons, thunderbirds, and golden tortoises again. Now that the old men and women had a clear goal, they were incredibly enthusiastic. But this only angered the apothecary. You're giving him this much spirit blood at once? Do you want him to burst and die? The mute blacksmith dragged in two thunderbirds, grinning with his tongueless mouth. More can handle it. Granny C was full of confidence in Chin Mu. The apothecary glared at them but said nothing more. He took out spirit insect eggs and continued refining blood. However, something still went wrong. This time, there was too much blood from the four spirit beasts. After Chin Mu drank it, his body began to swell, expanding until the old men and women grew terrified, afraid he might explode. The apothecary took out several hollow silver needles and stuck them into Chin Mu's back and crown of his head. Streams of green, red, and purple gas hissed out from the holes in the needles. After a while, the needles stopped releasing gas. The apothecary removed them and shot another glare at the elders. Step by step. If you want to fatten him up in one go, you'll only end up bursting him. His body hasn't even digested everything yet. Now, you all have something to do. The butcher will train blades with him, old Ma will train fists, and the cripple will teach footwork to help him digest. More, let's train with the blade. The butcher planted his hands on the ground, leaping up and landing on a wooden stake. Having lost the lower half of his body, the butcher's upper body rested on the stake, making him about the same height as Chin Mu. He gripped two slaughter knives, but unlike ordinary pig slaughtering blades, which were under a foot long with rounded wooden handles and a blade shaped like a quarter moon, the butcher's knives were much larger, 3 feet long, thick-spined, thin-edged, polished to a shine. When the two blades came together, they formed two massive, terrifying crescent doors. Chin Mu also held a similar slaughter knife, though he only had one, weighing about 20 catties. Normally, the young Chin Mu could barely lift it, but after drinking the four spirit blood, his strength had grown immensely, and he could wield it with one hand without feeling heavy. Old butcher, watch out! Chin Mu charged at the butcher on the stake, blade in hand. The butcher laughed heartily. Though only half a man, his presence was thunderous. Night battle, storm over the city. Chin Mu's blade danced, slashing high and low as his footwork shifted, swinging toward the butcher. The blade moved faster and faster, the air screaming, merging into a single storm of steel. Too slow, you're too slow, the butcher yelled as his two blades moved with terrifying speed, clashing against Chin Mu's blade with a relentless clang, 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 like rain pouring down. Faster, faster, your slaughter blade can go faster. The night battle storm technique requires your blade to move like a midnight storm, raining across the entire city. Faster, the blade light grew quicker, like countless silver dragons patrolling the air, weaving left, right, up, and down around the wooden stake. The wind howled louder, blade energy hissing in the air, leaving deep cracks on the ground wherever the blade touched. Those were blade marks. Good, that's the speed you need. The faster your blade, the stronger your blade energy. But you're still not fast enough. You need to be as fast as a raging fire, burning endlessly. The butcher roared, his blades moving so quickly that Chin Mu's eyes could barely follow. Burn, burn, let your blade burn, your spirit burn, your soul burn. When it all ignites, it becomes divine power. Whoosh, as his blades cut through the air, they suddenly ignited, flames trailing along the blades like twin flaming dragons, growing more terrifying with each swing. The flaming dragons lunged at Qin Mu, and just as he couldn't hold on any longer, they shot into the sky, tearing through the night over disabled elderly village, shaking the heavens. Qin Mu stood there stunned. The butcher's blades were terrifying. Above the village, darkness swallowed the blade light and flaming dragons. The darkness seemed alive, furious that the butcher had swung his blades at it, pressing down on the village as if to swallow everything. You damned heavens! The butcher, blades in hand, stood tall on the wooden stake, screaming madly at the sky. One day, I'll tear apart this darkness and kill you all. You may have taken my legs, but you didn't take my head. One day, I will. Old butcher's going crazy again. But his blade is truly terrifying. His blade technique has become divine power. When will I be able to wield a blade as fast as him? Qin Mu looked at the mad butcher with deep respect, set down his slaughter blade, and went to find the one-armed old Ma. The butcher's blade ignites into flame to become divine power. My fists must thunder to become divine power. Old Ma's face turned serious. With his one remaining arm, he clenched his fist, his bones crackling like thunder. More, when you can hold thunder in your hand, your fist technique will finally be worth something. The butcher's blade is fast, but my fist surpasses the limits of sound, breaks the shackles of the air, and unleashes unstoppable force. One arm can throw a punch, but that punch will be like 1,000 punches, each blow thundering like a storm. Boom! Thunder rumbled as old Ma punched out. Boom! 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 Thunder roared continuously as old Ma's punches became so fast that Qin Mu's eyes could no longer follow. The afterimages of old Ma's fist made it seem as though he had hundreds of arms, each crackling with lightning, each punch thundering as sparks danced. This is the 1,000 hands of the Buddha in the 8 strikes of thunder. When your fists are faster than sound, you can command lightning and thunder with your strikes. One punch can shatter the soul and body of your opponent, destroying them for eternity. Old Ma retracted his fist, speaking in a low voice. Now, use the 8 strikes of thunder I taught you and attack me. Strike out thunder, wield lightning, and command the storm. Qin Mu took a deep breath. Today, old Ma and the butcher had taught him something different. Before, they only taught him blade techniques and fist techniques, but today, they mentioned something else. Divine power. It was a term that felt unfamiliar, something he was hearing for the first time. Qin Mu used the 8 strikes of thunder to attack old Ma. Even though old Ma had only one arm, every strike from Qin Mu was effortlessly blocked, using no extra energy. Unlike the butcher, who seemed mad but always held back enough to never hurt Qin Mu, old Ma showed no mercy. Whenever Qin Mu left an opening, old Ma's fist would strike, not too hard but enough to leave Qin Mu's face swollen and bruised. Only when Qin Mu could no longer endure did old Ma finally let him rest. Your legs are the wind, the earth, the source of power. The cripple leaned on his cane. With only one leg, he was the one who taught Qin Mu footwork. Qin Mu had once thought the cripple was the most ordinary elder in the village, always smiling simply, trustworthy. But after he watched that simple smile as the cripple stabbed a woman crawling out of a cowhide, Qin Mu was no longer so sure. The cripple's smile was sly, and no one could tell if it was real or fake. He smiled at Qin Mu and said, "More, the butcher is proud of his blade, old Ma is proud of his fist, but true divine power lies in the legs. Can't cut your enemy? Can't beat your enemy? Then what do? You run, of course. Staying alive is most important. Life isn't just poetry and dreams, it's also about survival. Only the living are victors. As long as you can run fast enough, you can sprint across walls, skim over water, even fly through the air. If you run fast enough, everything becomes flat ground, fire, air, all flat under your feet. When you can run so fast that even sound can't catch up to you, that's when you've taken your first step toward divine power footwork. More, step up on this iron bar.